Hey guys, I wanted to share my little pet project I've been doing since my mission on my YouTube channel, and it is the church statistics of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it's pretty cool. So I've got pretty much most of the records and stuff from 19 or 1830 all the way to modern day when the church was first founded. And it the baptism record stopped in 1920 because that year apparently they didn't like what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't. I got a lot of the older stuff off of Internet Archive conference reports, so there's no conference reports for earlier stuff. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so to start out, I've got it broken into the stats, and then of course I scroll over this way. I've got the names of the apostles and the prophets during the time of Christ and the presidency of the 70. I mean, not during the time, but during the Restoration. Wow, my brain. The presidency of the 70, President Bishopric, Society, counselors, Sunday school, young men's presidency, basically all the leadership of the church, including the Mormon Tabernacle Choir or Tabernacle Choir Temple Square, musical directors in the school, each president. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna pick random year. I guess I'll pick the year my dad was born, which is 1955. So let's see. So 1955. Here it is. Let's press this. So this has the timeline. The Swiss temple dedicated. The first temple in Europe and in Switzerland, the first temple built overseas. So that's kind of cool. That's September 11th to 15th. That's when it was dedicated of the year my dad was born. My dad was born in April. So that's kind of cool. But during that year, there was 1,357,274 people in the church, which compared to today, which is like 16 million, it's pretty small. But and then the record of children baptized that year were 32,807 and so on. Full-time missionaries, 2,414. Numbers of missions, there's 44, 224 stakes, 2,082 branches or wards, which is pretty cool. And then this is kind of a cool thing. So my temple, I'll go into more details about my temple section in a minute, but basically this one, the temples announced, is the ones that were announced that year. So in 1955, the Hamilton, New Zealand temple was announced, as was the London, England temple. And that year, there's 3 temples are under construction, and these 2 were the ones that were groundbroken. So there's 3 under construction. That's the number of under construction. And London, England temple and the Hamilton, New Zealand temple were both groundbroken that year. And then, of course, like I said, the Switzerland temple was dedicated that year, which is pretty cool. And then, let's see. Then I've got the prophets and apostles here. So I've got David O. McKay, he's the prophet in 1955, and Stephen L. Richards was the first counselor. J. Reuben Clark is the second counselor, and Joseph Fielding Smith and Harold Bealey is. And this is basically an order of the line of seniority as far as during the time, although sometimes it's different because the president of the quorum could be an acting president like it is now with Dallin Harris Oaks is the actual president of the Quorum of the 12, but he's in the first presidency. So M. Russell Ballard is the acting president. So that's kind of different throughout these things. I've got little things in here, little tidbits about little histories. Stephen L. Richards, who was actually, I just said, his second counselor in 1955, or first counselor. He's the grandson of Willard Richards. And Willard Richards was an early apostle. Where'd it go? And that's when he died. He was with Joseph Smith in Carthage when he was killed. Where is it? So that was that. And then I've I've got the rest of the apostles that year. The least senior of all of them being, let's see, George Quayle Morris. So, and then, yeah, Richard Louis Evans. A lot of these apostles you probably heard of. You've heard their talks, or if you're a member of the church. Then we have the presidency of the 70, and you got the senior president, and then the other people. And back then, it was usually you're in this calling until you died back in the day. And so, or until you were mentally unfit to do it. So there's the presidency of the 70. Then 1955, Joseph Leopold Worthlin was the presiding bishop, with Thorpe Beale Isaacson as the first counselor and Carl William Buhner as second counselor. And then you've got the Free Leaf Society here during that time. So it was Bell, Smith, Spafford, and these two. And then Sunday School presidency. So that's Sunday School presidency, Young Men presidency. And Young Women's, Bertha Stone Reeder and primary president Laverne Watts Parmley. But it took me a long time to do this, and I'm working on getting their history and stuff on each of these people as notes. But that's Mormon Tabernacle Choir president at the time. Oops, I messed that up. Was Joseph Spencer Cornwall, and it kind of got a tidbit about his end of service. So under his leadership, the choir traveled abroad to perform for the Swiss Temple dedication in 1955. One of his early music instructors was former choir director George Careless. So, and then you've got the announcer, and funny enough, Richard L. Evans was an apostle at the time, and he also was the announcer for the music and the spoken word for a long time. And then, of course, you've got the church schools. So Brigham Young University, 1955, the president at the time was, so in 1955, it was BYU, and that was Ernest Leroy Wilkinson. And then 1955, I put all the names of the schools I forget, it's pretty long, but so basically, let me scroll this over a little bit. Alfred. Okay. And so, come on. Alfred. Hold on a second. So, there we go. That didn't work. And we're good. Okay, sweet. So the Salt Lake Academy, which is now today is Ensign College, they renamed Ensign College in 2020, but in 1955 it was LDS Business College. And then we've got BYU Idaho. Where is it? Oh, not too far. So it was originally Bannock Stake Academy. My goodness. Sorry, guys. It's kind of hard to get this situated correctly. Oh, yeah. Anyways, around this time it was, I think, Ricks College. And it's not letting me see it. But in 1955, the Church College of Hawaii was founded. And so, yeah, the president of the college at the time was Reuben Dean Law. And then BYU Pathways is another entity, and that wasn't created until like a long time ago, or just recently, I mean. So that's kind of a fun history thing. And then I've just got lots of little tidbits. I had pictures on my Microsoft Excel file, but I don't think you can do pictures on Google Sheets. It kind of sucks, but whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works on this Google Sheet, and that's kind of the statistical chart. So it's kind of cool. We actually right now have the most temples under construction than we've ever had. Let me go over here really quick. So we've got 48 temples under construction. That might go down depending on how many temples are dedicated this year. There's 2 scheduled for dedication, and there's 4 scheduled for groundbreaking. Some of them in April, some of them in May. That may change. Today's the 9th of February of 2022, so it could change. I've got all the announced temples in this category from last year. Is a lot. It's like a whole ton. Yeah, it's crazy. And then these are all the ones that were groundbroken last year. Desert Peaks and then yeah, that stuff is being groundbroken this year. Anyways, that's my statistical chart. I'm also working on a section for the U.S. U.S. during the time of the church. So presidents, vice presidents, yada yada, so on and so forth. So that's something I'm working on too. But my main focus on this is the church statistics. So yeah, if you like it, check it out. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the description of this video. And yeah, leave a like and comment on it if you find it interesting. And I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. And I made it so no one can edit it except for me, but I would love for people to be able to look at it and enjoy it, what I've done. So anyways, that is pretty much it. And you guys, yeah, have a great day and tell me what you think. Bye.